Well, there's so much to talk about, Sam and Andy and this and that, but what the really, the core idea of the movie is that there's this woman and she's blacking out, and when she wakes up, somebody's dead. And she is unable to account for her actions and whereabouts during those blackouts and thus begins to suspect herself. That's what the movie's about. Jessica is pretty tough, but that's not the only note. And I had to learn that because when I read it, I really had this idea, even during shooting, that it was someone who was tough. And all of a sudden, I had to really pause and back up and find that that was Sarah Thorpe's point, that there was this incredibly well-rounded and fully expressive person without one trait overwhelming the other, such as toughness eclipsing her vulnerability. And I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of a life lesson in there as well. He has raised me. He's my deceased father's partner. So he's my Uncle John, and he's taught me everything I know. I've followed in his footsteps, become a cop just like he is. And it's the first time I've been able to work with Sam. We've had a couple of near misses and know each other socially a little bit. And so this was a really, it was a bit like coming home for me with Sam, because he's a real straight shooter. He's very playful, but he's also real plain spoken. There's not a lot of, what's that word? He's not like a schmoozer kind of person. I've learned a lot about the police world and what a genuinely tight-knit community it is. The gentleman who is the police advisor on our movie, when we first met, the first thing he wanted to talk about was partners. And the majority of my notes, I thought, this is really interesting stuff because it's life, but I don't know how it's going to truly help me get into my role. But he ended up being amazingly helpful because the partnership is a defining characteristic. Andy is my partner in homicide, so when I've gotten this promotion my first day at work, I'm introduced to him. And, just instantaneously there is that, the connection, the respect, the idea that you've got one another's backs. And just the most loaded quality of friendship comes with the idea of having a partner on the streets. And Andy's just a gentleman. He's been really, really lovely to work with.